So today, we're going to go and talk about the 50% support type units getting EZAs. Now, I don't think anyone saw this coming, and I did hear from a couple people that these EZAs are good, so we're going to go and take a look at this in today's video to see for ourselves. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start out with AGL Pan and the Hyper Meta-Rilldo. Let's start with Pan first. So Pan's new leader skill, and I'm pretty sure everyone else's leader skill is going to be 4 key and 150% of stats. That's quite good, and that's going to be so helpful for battle. For one tidbit I want to throw in is that I feel as if though each and every one of these 50% support type units should have been in the general banner pool for unfeatured SSRs. I don't understand it. They should just be unfeatured SSRs. Like, why not? I've been saying this since 2020. Seriously, you can go back and watch my old videos. I've said this anytime I've looked at a 50% support. To my recollection, I'm just like, why are they locked behind these banners that rarely ever come out? Hey, it is what it is, I guess. So with that being said, let's talk about AGL Pan. So her leader skill, as I've already said, is Super AGL, 4 key and 150% stats. I'm not going to really talk about the leader skills from here on out. Just know that each and every one of these leader skills are going to be very valuable for off-meta content. So her, especially Dokkan Battlefield. This is very nice. Okay, so her super attack effect. She raises allies' attack and defense by 30% for 2 turns. Okay, that's good. Certainly. That's good, but she's not getting defense on her super attack. But yeah, 30% attack and defense for 2 turns is definitely nice, but she's not getting defense on super. It's a little weird. Okay, she gives AGL type 3 key and 10% attack and defense, of course. And she also gives an additional 50% attack and defense to AGL type. So she's giving 3 key and 60% attack and defense to AGL. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a common theme between these units. So I'm not going to repeat this also. So 2 things I'm not going to repeat is the leader skill as well as the support type buff that each and every one of these support type units are going to be giving. Of course, these 60% supports now, they're not really 50% supports anymore. I mean, you still could call them the 50% support type units because that's originally what they were, but really it depends on who you are. So she is a AGL key changer, of course AGL excluded, so of course that's pretty nice. She gets 50% attack and defense per key spirit. What? Okay. And she gets an additional 20% attack and defense and a 10% chance to crit per AGL key spirit. What? So she can get 70% attack and defense per key spirit obtained. And she's creating her own AGL orbs. Now, granted, you could get unlucky and not getting the AGL key spheres changed for you. Like, you can get the physical god Goku effect where he's not changing orbs in a good fashion. But this is pretty nutty. Okay, what else does she do? She changes all key spheres to AGL when HP is 50% or less, and there's 2 or more superclass allies on the team. Okay, so if you're below this threshold and you have 2 or more superclass allies, which of course is a very easy threshold to get off, right? This is pretty nutty. And she guards all attacks for 4 turns from the starter turn with 3 or more AGL type allies on the team. Okay, now granted, she is restricted to having to force you to run 3 AGL type allies. She's pretty nutty. She has guard. She can she gets the LR Bulma effect. She basically has LR Bulma's active skill in her passive. So not only does she have guard and LR Bulma's fucking active skill inside of her. What? And when I say LR Bulma's active skill inside of her passive, I'm only talking about the orb changing. But she's getting essentially 70% attack and defense, provided you get the AGL keystrokes with it. 70% attack and defense per keystroke obtained, as well as a 10% chance to crit. What? she's a orb changer too. She's supporting her nuking ability. She's pretty nutty. I'm not even gonna lie. My only gripe with her is the fact that she's not gaining defense on her super attack effect. But this is very good. Being a multi-turn support type unit, this is very good. Certainly, considering the fact that she's giving 3 key and 70% attack, not 60, 3 key and 60% attack and defense. I said 70 because she's getting 70% attack and defense per key sphere obtained provided it's an AGL key sphere. She's a nuker that creates her own orbs and could make a entire field of orbs like LR Bulma with guard. She gives me LR Bulma vibes. She's like a mini LR Bulma. She's like a heavily restricted LR Bulma. Because if you really think about it, she does have to be below the HP threshold with superclass characters. And she also has to have AGL type characters to guard. And you want to have her collect AGL key spheres to get this additional 20% attack and defense and have 10% chance to crit. She's good. Pan is good. What? Pan is good. Okay, let's see Hyper Meta-Rilldo. So Hyper Meta-Rilldo, skipping the leader skill, of course. His super attack effect, 50% attack and defense 1 turn, as well as a seal, and lowers attack and defense. So he has a very good super attack effect. Very good indeed. Okay, so of course we skip over his support type buff, because he's giving, obviously, 3 key and 60% attack and defense. He is also a orb changer to AGL. And he basically has the same design as Pan. Oh, hold on. What's this guy's EZA stats? 18,000 attack with 12,000 defense. That's pretty good. Let me see Pan. Yeah. Okay, so since these two are essentially mirrored, yo, this guy right next to LR Super Baby 2. Oh my god. This guy is basically, they're similar. Pan and Rildo are similar in terms of passive, but their super attack effects as well as their link set and their categories are obviously going to be different. They have essentially similar passives. Rildo is also good. Rildo is also good. Okay. So the next 50% supports are going to be Tien and second form Cell, and I did glance over their details just a little bit, and these guys literally look similar to Pan and Rildo. But the only real thing is that their link sets are different, categories are different, and super attack effects are different. So of course Tien, similar leader skill to the other ones, as well as similar, of course, support type buffs for their specific typing, slash, of course, their class, that being super slash extreme. He's also an orb changer, of course, he's a nuker. Yeah, it's pretty much all the similar things that Pan and Rildo has. And, of course, he gains 50% attack for 1 turn, greatly lowers attack and defense, too. They could have slapped some defense on him. They could have did the same thing they did for Rildo. It's like, Rildo getting 50% attack and defense 1 turn is definitely nice. I feel like Pan should have had that, too. Tien, I see no reason why not either. Because what he had before, yeah, he had nothing. So they just gave him only 50% attack for 1 turn. Whatever. Cell is pretty much the same thing, except he gains 50% defense for 1 turn. He of course, great lowers attack and defense. Similar leader skill, similar support type buff, similar orb changing. Certainly, I would say that these are some pretty solid designs. And the fact that they do have the chance to guard. Well, it's not a chance to guard, but you could have these cards guarding. So I would say that these designs are certainly good. I think these designs are good. And they're not restricting it to just like super tech for Tien and like extreme tech for second form Cell. It's for just tech. That is good. And it's on the team at that. Not in the same damn rotation including themselves. So let's move on over to the next 50% supports. I don't have much to say about those guys because they're similar to Pan and Rildo. So good designs nonetheless, I would say. Yeah, pretty much all the same stuff. Except, of course, like I said already, the super attack effects and blah, blah, blah. So what's different is that his super attack effect is a very strong super attack effect. 50% attack and defense for 9 turns. This was the reason why this guy's Awakening was so good, because he's getting 30% attack and defense for multiple turns. Up to 9 turns, that's very good. Certainly good. And, of course, similar stuff, blah, blah, blah. He has a good super attack effect. Let's see Vegeta. And Vegeta, he greatly stacks attack. Okay. Did I? Okay, no. Okay, I didn't see something similar to this. So yeah, he's greatly stacking attack with a 50% chance to stun. And of course, he has the same exact stuff as all the other ones. So all the 50% supports have similar kits. All good. All good. I'm not complaining at all. Although some cards I wish were gaining defense on Super, they are nukers. Pretty much all the 50% supports are nukers that are supporting. They have guard and they can have a LR Bulma turn. Pretty much. Yeah, same exact thing. Of course, his super attack effect is very strong. Similar to Int Gohan's, 50% attack defense on 9 turns, very powerful. I would say so. Love the super attack effect for this guy. Let's go ahead and see you hit. He's greatly stacking defense. This is interesting because he's greatly stacking defense and he's guarding for those 4 turns. Meanwhile, orb changing and nuking. Who's the best one though? He's greatly stacking attack as well as having a 50% chance to stun. And of course, this guy's having a similar thing. Certainly. And what I really like about all of these guys' EZAs is the fact that they're all going to be helping out the typings that badly need it. Like Extreme Physical. Like this Boo needs... Extreme Physical needs this Boo. Badly. Extreme S... What Extreme SR needed? I mean... Extreme Tech? I mean, we do got Zamasu. I think that is really about it. But like I've already said in the past, and I'm going to go ahead and say it again, I feel like every single one of these 50% supports should have just been the general banner pool of unfeatured SSRs. I don't see why not. Instead of making us wait for like an anniversary or like a download celebration or any sort of celebration to randomly come back. It's just so weird. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I think all the EZAs are good. I have no issues with them at all. They are restricted in their own manner. Let me just go and take a quick peek at Boo. Yeah, you have to have extreme class allies. Yeah, I feel like I'm fine with these EZAs. I'm completely fine with them. Although I wish the ones that don't gain defense on Super had defense on Super. I wish all these guys gained defense on Super. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. You guys are the best. I'll catch you guys next time. I love you all. Hey. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.